Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the LaunchDay podcast. I'm your host, Dean Cvetkoski, a.k.a. WhoDean. And today in studio, we have a really lovely lady, believe it or not, here with us. Her name is Elisha Mullins. Did I say that last name correct?
You did.
Fantastic. You know, it's a bit easier than mine, I'd say. Is that right?
A little bit. A few less syllables.
Yeah, C with wheels on it, as a lot of people say, right? So, now that's really good. And guys, we are doing, these are part of our Launch Day Amplify short program where we actually provide a lot of people that are here with us with a free interview and video clip that they can take away with them. So for people that are watching and listening, if you're in business, head on over to our website to find out more. And we'd love to have you on, just like how we have Elisha on today. Elisha, tell me, how you doing?
Oh, I'm very well. I'm sweltering in this weather, but I'm doing well. Thanks, Dean.
It is hot, isn't it? I've got the aircon on full blast, believe me. What is it out? It's only 32 outside, but it's still hot, isn't it? It feels really hot.
Whoever said only 32?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you come from the UK, right? Is it?
No. I come from Australia. Yeah,
you do?
I'm from Australia.
You spent time overseas.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Because I remember there was this Irish lady that I had been working with many, many years ago, and it was like 25 degrees, and she was in shorts. She's like, "Oh my God, it's so hot. I'm sweating." You know what I mean? Oh, it was just so funny. No, that's cool. That's cool. Elisha, so, pre-framing for the people for our interview, Elisha runs a business called MonkeySee, and it's all about cyclists wearing some trendy, am I correcting me if I'm wrong, but trendy gear that is also reflective, that keeps them safe. And it's not just cyclists, it's people that are running, walking the dog. Did you do them for pets as well?
Oh, there actually are a couple of products for pets when you're walking the dog late at night or early in the morning and you want to make sure that you don't lose your dog. Yeah, absolutely.
There's
a couple of products. Yeah.
I love that. That's cool. I do like that. That's awesome, right? So, that to me, I feel like something like that should be on the news, because you see cyclist accidents and things like that during the night everywhere. And it's so hard to see them sometimes.
It can be. Look, honestly, and we're trying to encourage more and more people to ride bikes instead of driving cars, right? And that's ultimately what I love about this space. I'm a bit of a greedy at heart, so if we can do anything to encourage more everyday people to ride a bike instead of commuting via a car, then that's ideal. But one of the things holding people back is that they're scared, right? They're worried. They're worried about being hit, not being seen. And so MonkeySee helps to try and encourage the everyday person to have a little bit more confidence. So perhaps throwing something on that's, not quite as ugly or garish as it could be, but helps them be seen is really critical to what we do.
Can this kind of stuff be extended out to motorcyclists? Because even for me, because I've bought my motorcycle license, and I remember like my mum's telling me, everyone's telling me, "Oh no, don't get your motorcycle license because you're going to be part of the statistic." The thing is that I'm already part of the statistic, and I know I am because I've had 2 motorcycle accidents before I even had my license. When I was a teenager, I was hit by 2 cars, on a motorcycle, right? So I'm already part of the statistic. So, You
reckon the odds are in your favour that it's not going to happen again,
yeah,
right?
well,
Statistically unlikely.
I'm thinking of my lucky stars so far. But can motorcyclists wear it too? Like, is
100%. Yeah. Look, the thing about the MonkeySee, and the main product that MonkeySee kind of is known for is what's called a harness, which sounds a little bit odd, but it's the best way to explain it. It's a little harness that you kind of wear over whatever you're wearing, right? So it doesn't have to interrupt with the leathers or your Kevlar or whatever you might cycle in. Equally for runners or people who are riding their bike, if they want to wear their Lycra, but also if they just want to wear their everyday gear, their jeans and their T-shirt, you can just throw this on over the top, and it comes in a range of colours. So I've actually sold a few of the MonkeySee harness in black to motorcyclists, right? And you might think black, that's a bit odd because we're talking about visibility, but it's still got reflective elements. So it's not going to totally ruin your outfit, and it's easy, lightweight, doesn't add heat. So if you're cycling on days like today where it's 32 and you don't want to have to wear a big ugly high-vis vest and look like a construction worker, you throw this product on and then you can just toss it in your bag or in your pocket or in the little pouch it comes in. So yeah, absolutely. And I've got a motorcycle license too, and I ride a scooter, a Vespa, and I put mine on over the top of whatever I'm wearing. Just gives that extra added element, right?
That's awesome.
What we need.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's super cool, right? So it's, you can sort of take this anywhere. It could be for multiple purposes. And you said it's a harness, right? So it just jumps over. It just goes
you
over.
just literally, it's got two little straps, and then you just kind of do it up at the side. Kind of like looks like you're wearing something that goes across and then underneath and around your ribs. So it doesn't sit around your waist. It doesn't get in the way. If you're going for a run or going for a bike ride, it sits nice and snug, but you can loosen it. They're adjustable. And that's just one of the products. We do things like waterproof backpack covers that are high vis and reflective, and even something really simple like a reflective strap, kind of like a luggage strap like you see when you go to the airport.
You
could clip it onto your waist, you could clip it around your bag, you could even put it around your back, your bike, depending. They're very versatile.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I kind of like that. That's, it's such an innovative product. So, I mean, how did MonkeySee come about for you? What was the story there?
Yeah, it's an interesting story, and I can't claim to have had the idea myself. I bought the business off the founder, and she, kind of designed the product because of the need for that feeling of safety in crazy Sydney traffic, right? And so I bought the business a couple of years ago, and so now I'm kind of taking it on to different heights and giving it a life of its own, and hoping to kind of expand the love and market it to more people and hopefully get more people on board. And I think we all saw with COVID the crazy number of increase in bike sales and things like that. More and more people realizing that there's more to life than sitting in traffic all day. And so, we're seeing a lot more people ride, and this is one way that we can do so and feel a little bit more comfortable and confident when we're doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And do you have any statistics? I mean, because I reckon there could be people that are watching, listening, that are looking at that and going, yeah, well, I ride my bike all the time and I don't see a need for it. Do you have any information on the statistics around, how many accidents? Hey, yes, I'm talking to you, and I know it looks like the interview, but it's actually not. We're taking a really quick, short break so that way you can hear me out. I really want you to hear me out here. If you are a business owner, you are building your personal brand. I mean, you could be anyone. You could be a real estate agent. You could be an astronaut, an IT professional. It really doesn't matter who you are and where you fit into the world. This interview is great for you. If you're really struggling to make content, and let's face it, right? When we get our phones out and we're like, taking selfies and doing videos that way, it just comes across as inauthentic. And the other side of that as well is the fact that it's just so hard to come up with ideas of what kind of content to create. And this is where our interviews absolutely bring a powerhouse and an arsenal of, basically a war chest in terms of your organic content marketing that you're creating. We create the TikToks and Reels for you. Here's the thing. I've got some great news. The great news is that this interview is completely free. We boost your SEO on Google because we go and feature these videos like the one you're watching on YouTube. And not only that, but we also give you free content to post to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and all the rest of it as well. So if you haven't already, in the description down below is a link to Linktree, where you'll see the opportunity for you to book your very own interview and get free content for your personal brand or your business as well. I'll see you on the other side of the screen.
Yeah, look, I mean, off the top of my head, I won't be able to rattle off the stats for a particular city and things, but the likelihood of getting hit, particularly in lower light conditions, increases rapidly. And I know that there's data out there to suggest that if you're wearing reflective gear, so it doesn't necessarily need to be the high vis, because that's great for the day, but if you're cycling at night, you can't see fluoro yellow or fluoro orange, right? It's still dark. So It's that reflective element. And so if you're wearing something reflective, then it increases the likelihood of a driver being able to see you by about 6 times. So it's really definitely an improvement on the capability of a driver to see you, be aware that you're there, and then hopefully take action for you to be safe.
What's the advantage like between, getting one of those like red flashing lights that go on the back and the front versus,
Yeah.
having the reflective gear? I mean, what's the difference, the biggest difference?
Yeah. So you definitely still need to have bike lights. So tail light and front light on a bike when you're riding, particularly in low light. Absolutely, they should be compulsory, right? So they're essential. So the MonkeySee gear is an adjunct to that. So it's all about adding more visibility and reflective elements. So a bike light on the front and the back is fantastic for the front and the back. But if you're at a crossroad and you can't see a cyclist from coming side on, right? Yeah, wearing that reflective element, the headlights of a car or even the street lights will reflect off that, and you'll see someone moving, and it's all about the movement as well. That concept of biomotion. So if you can see something moving, then the human brain is more likely to understand and recognize that that's actually a human being rather than just a street sign or a street light or something that's an inanimate object.
Yeah, I get you. And I think like even that, I think you could argue and also say that when it does come to cycling, that your lights at the front and the back do sit lower than where you sit. And so then, because obviously when we're driving, we're not looking at the first 10 meters in front of us. No, we're looking downwards. We're looking upwards towards the horizon.
Yep.
So having any kind of reflective equipment that's higher than where predominantly the lights go on your bicycle, that actually does make a lot of sense. That would provide you a lot higher chances of not being run off the road, right? So that makes total sense to me.
Absolutely. I have a really nice story, actually. A customer who I've never personally met, but she sent me a lovely message when she bought a harness, and she was riding in regional Australia, so regional New South Wales, and she was riding out on this lone road that doesn't even have lights on the side of the road, but it's a very common truck kind of route. And she pulled over. A truck passed her at one point when she was riding along, and she eventually ended up pulling up at the road stop, at the truck stop. And the driver of the truck actually came up to her and said, "Thank you so much for wearing that, because I could see you a couple of 100 meters out. Whereas if you hadn't been wearing that, I wouldn't have been able to see you very well." And not until it was potentially too late. So that was a really nice story, and I'm glad that she shared that with me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. And so like how's the company doing? I mean, how many customers do you have? Are you guys growing by the week? I mean, surely there's like a product like this just makes so much sense. So, how many people can proudly, wear it to this day, do you reckon? How many have purchased them?
Oh, gosh, that's a great question. Look, the business has been around for about 10 years or just over 10 years. And so I don't really know much about what happened before me.
But I can count on my fingertips?
It's definitely more than you can count. It's definitely more than the people that you know, Dean.
Good.
So I'd say several thousand people now. One of my big and most happy customers is actually a bike shop in the UK, in Sheffield, and they run a cycling event every year, and as part of the entry for that cycling event, which goes overnight, all the competitors have to wear the harness. They all get one in their entry pack, cool. Which is really cool. So look, it's definitely growing, but it's all about the amount of work that you put in. So in order for me to grow the business more, I need to put in the work and the effort in order to do so. So I'm really looking forward to coming on board with some more cycling shops and other distributors who might help spread the love.
Yeah, that's actually honestly really awesome, right? To hear the amazing growth that you've had and the partnerships that you've been able to foster. It's truly a testament to the direction you're taking, right? It's awesome. It's really, really good. You're making really good progress.
Yeah, thanks. It's it's hard work, but you got to do it, right?
That's exactly
it's
right.
Important.
Exactly right. Believe me, perseverance, resilience. We can start naming all the different attributes you're going to need as an entrepreneur, right?
Indeed.
For sure. Look, were you always into like cycling gear? Were you always into cycling in general? Is there more to the story about who Elisha is than just someone who's running a business in in cycling wear? Or
So the funny thing is, and any of my friends who listen to this will have a chuckle at this. So I'm actually a member of a triathlon club, and I like to swim and I like to run. And the riding element is my weakest link and the one that I kind of actually gave up. So the irony is not lost on me. However, I love the idea of I cycle to commute, and I've done so for years. I don't cycle to compete, and it's more about the everyday person. I've been very active all my life, and that's played a large part of what I've done career wise and what I do. And so I'm all about trying to encourage more and more people to do something active. And this was kind of, I guess, a marriage of two great elements, right? People being active, getting out of the rat race, and also kind of that environmental aspect of as well of, leaving the car keys at home and trying to promote a bit more green transport.
I was going to say that too, right? Like, for those that are listening, because, like at the end of the day, we have people of all different walks of life here. And some of them might not be, raving fans of saving the planet as you are, right? And so I always say, like, if it's not for saving the environment, then, do it for your health, right? So 100%. It's good. I mean, it works in both ways. And if you can combine the two and be both passionate about both things, great, fantastic. But if it is just one thing, then at the very least, make it so that way you're out there, you're losing weight, you're being healthy, you're being active. That's such a great way to approach it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the funny thing is, and I don't know if you ride a bike, Dean, but when you go for a ride of a bike and you pass someone else who's on a bike, they're always smiling, right? And it's just a lovely way to kind of get around and you just feel a bit freer. And it's doing good for you and for the planet, right? So it kind of, when I saw this business was available, I thought, you know what, it makes perfect sense for me. So that's kind of how it happened.
That's awesome. I like that. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. It's very, very, I like the part you said how, when you're riding and you see people smiling. Because I can tell you that motorists and cyclists don't share that same sentiment.
100%. 100%. You don't get the road rage on a bike that you do in a car, right?
Yeah. Believe me, the driver nor the cyclist is smiling when in that instance. But cyclist to cyclist, they are, and that's that's such a beautiful thing, right? So so you're going back to what we're leading up to. So what's your sort of main profession that you've been in these last couple of years or however many years?
Oh, many more.
I mean, you don't look a day past 30 to me. So
nice try. Thanks, Dean. I'll take that. We're recording this, right?
We are recording this, correct.
So I actually have worked in the medtech industry for practically 2 decades. And so I've worked with the one company, which is a major, massive, well-known international company for 18 years, 18 and a half actually. And so I've worked across a whole range of different areas in that space, but my predominant experience is within the cardiac kind of world in cardiology and marketing and things like that. So so obviously with my background, I studied exercise and sports science and kind of moved into the medtech kind of side not long after that. And so I've had that, I guess, tenuous link with being fit, being healthy, and the human body and looking after it for a long time, my entire career. But then, of course, my business experience working with a conglomerate, a multinational across Asia Pacific, Middle East, Africa. We're a global company, and so I've got lots of experience in working across different streams of the business and with different people. So I guess, that worldly experience really helps me in this space.
Do you think that like people, that work at such a high corporate level, do you think that they're more likely to be more successful in starting or taking over a business because of I suppose the knowledge that they've attained from their corporate roles? Do you think that's a thing?
Look, I think it definitely helps, absolutely, because there are aspects of working for a corporate organization that you don't necessarily get taught if you don't, right? So just particularly I think around things like systems and processes and being consistent and following the rules to an extent definitely help you. I think obviously then marrying the entrepreneurial side where you can actually blur those lines and step outside of those boundaries, which you don't necessarily have in corporate, that's where the two marry up nicely together. So look, I mean, does it make you more successful? I couldn't tell you, but I think it definitely gives you a really good grounding, a solid grounding and a good foundation. And there's definitely great learnings that you have working in corporate that you can then apply to the outside world. Whereas if you've never worked in corporate and only the entrepreneurial side, then I think you probably lack some of that kind of rigidity and formality that you might need in order to help you succeed.
Gotcha. And look, Elisha, we're coming towards the end of our interview. What's the future look like for you?
Oh gosh, I would love a crystal ball, to be honest. It's one of the things I've never been able to really answer. What do you want to do when you grow up, right? So I still don't know the answer. But in terms of the business, obviously I'm trying to continue to grow the business, trying to expand the brand and make sure that and have MonkeySee become a household name, and so that everyone who picks up a bike understands that being visible is important. So there's that, but I'm also open to opportunity. I'm really looking to explore what the future holds for me in terms of business, whether it be within corporate, outside of corporate, a combination of the two, and see what comes, see what happens, and be open to anything and everything that comes along.
Are you open to, I mean, if you got the cyclist wear, which is MonkeySee, have you thought about opening up a cyclist, like a cycling brand that sells, bicycles?
Like bikes and stuff?
And call that one Monkey Do?
Yeah, do you know what? I thought that's where you were going to go, and I love that you did that, which makes perfect sense. Do you know what? It's a really busy space, and a lot of people do it really well. So it probably doesn't make sense for me to embark on that. But partnerships in that space would probably, kind of align nicely with the brand. Absolutely. And so, never say never, Dean. Never say never.
Because you've got Sea-Doo, and then you've got, like the water sports brand, and then you've got MonkeySee, then you've got Monkey Do, which is see how we could make that work,
There we go. Do you know what? Like I said, you've got my details.
Absolutely. And Elisha, finally, how can people find you online?
Yeah, so look, my website, monkeysee.net.au, and there's options to contact me through that with a messenger platform. I'm on socials, so MonkeySee Shine Brighter on Facebook, on Insta, LinkedIn as well, and then my personal Elisha Mullins on LinkedIn as well. They're probably the best ways to get a hold of me.
That's awesome. And for anyone else that's in the audience, if you'd like to get in touch with Elisha, you can reach out to us as well, and we can put you in touch. It's support@launchday.au. Elisha, thank you so much for coming by. We really appreciate your time today.
Thanks so much for having me, Dean. It's been great.
You're very, very welcome. Thanks heaps. And guys, we'll see you on the next one.